This run is popping off. This is why you clear every node. It is a little tedious, it is a little not fun, but my word, am I strong right now. Hello friends, my name is Rage Panda and we are about to get into some dungeon descent. We're starting from scratch here. This is our first time through on this account. I have played through one other time, so I know a thing or two about a thing or two. We'll save our roster there. And the first thing that I can tell you is that you should start clicking every single square that you can click. And just don't fight anything until you have to. And the reason you should do that is because you want to get all the buffs that you can get before you fight anything. So then we click on some stuff here, we get some loots, it's pretty fantastic. So we can increase the health of teammates in the back row by 10%, increase the recovery of mage champions, and increase the defense of all teammates. We're going to go for all teammates. Total damage reduction, I feel like, is a good thing, but how is that different from just having extra health? Because if I have damage reduction, then if anything were to try to do percent damage to me, I would be a little safer, but other than that, I don't know what makes a difference. Alright, so now we have all of our tiles cleared out on floor number 1, and we have collected all of the chests and gold on the ground. We can see a thing with a yellow beam coming out. That is for reviving any champions that might die. We can see this green one. I'm sure you could assume that that one is going to heal our teammates. These little sundials are a wonderful free roulette thing to give us bonuses to help us with our run. So that's a fantastic thing, although I would prefer to get something purple in there. I suppose the second lowest reward is fine too. So before I fight the boss here, I'm actually going to click on each one of these guys, and if they are safe for me to fight, I am going to fight them. The reason I'm going to do that is because we want to get as many buffs stacked up as we can possibly get, or it's going to be a little bit annoying for us to win. We're going to take damage from the back row, because I think that's going to add up to helping us the most. Something that's interesting about this set of relics is that I can either increase the total damage of the back row by 10%, or I can increase the attack of teammates in the back row by 10%. And deciding which one is better depends on how these calculations are made. I would need to see the formula for that. I think taking the attack has a small chance of being better depending how the math works, and I don't think it has a huge chance of being worse, so that's what I'm going to take for that. I usually like to take 5% for all teammates because it equates to a higher total increase. However, I need my frontliners to be a little stronger right now, so we're going to just go ahead and buff them up. We take mage damage here because we are running mages and marksmen. Reduce damage taken by tank champions by 10%, increase total damage reductions in the back row by 10%, and increase total damage of teammates in the back row by 10%. Again, I don't want to worry about my defense in the back row too much, so I'm going to go ahead and grab damage. In this instance, we can choose defense for our team or reducing defense for the enemy team, and I personally think that reducing defense of the enemy team is the better choice in almost all circumstances. I wish that I knew if these effects all applied at the same time. So let's say I get 5 versions of the reduced defense by 5%. Is that going to be reducing it by 25%? Or does it do each 5% in its own instance, thereby reducing the total amount of damage reduction that we're getting? If that's the case, then there's going to be diminishing returns on these things, and there's really no way to know that without doing some serious math that I am personally not willing to do. Or if anybody's in the business of data mining, you could also look through the code and figure that out then. I'm going to go under the assumption that all of these things happen at the same time, so when I select another reduction of 5%, it will actually just do 10%. I hope that's the way it works. If it's not, then maybe I'm not making the right choices. Taking the increase to defense for our front row. To some people, I imagine it would seem a little bit tedious to actually go through and click on every node and fight every fight that you can get into. But if you want to win and get to the very end, there is no better strategy, because you need all of the buffs that you can get stacking up. We will increase the damage of our back row again. Our back row is where most of our damage comes from, so that seems like a solid plan. And this time we are going to take damage reduction for our front row. You'll see this last little fight that we have left. I say little, but it is actually the floor boss. They, as far as I know, all look like that. And you can see he's considerably stronger than the other ones, so hopefully we don't take too many casualties here. We want to kill the female Tidestorm first, so that is why my male Tidestorm is across from her, because she's going to do a little more damage than their Tidestorm, even though he is quite annoying. Absolutely crushing it, even though the stats looked a little closer, and that is why we went and picked up all of our buffs. Now we get some fancy stuff. We're not running any assassins, don't need that. Defense by 10% is fine, but we're using mages and marksmen for all of our damage, so we're just gonna go ahead and grab that. Just for the sake of completion, we are going to finish out the floor. This is going to make the run take much longer, but like I said, I feel like it's the best way to get as far as you possibly can in Dungeon Descent. If you're looking for a good time and not a long time, then maybe you could go ahead and skip through, but I don't think you'll get as far. We will grab defense for all teammates here. We've usually been taking just the front row, so good to have a little balance in your life. We've cleared out as many spaces as we can again. We've collected all of the treasure chests, and now we're going to do a series of homicides. Wow, impressive. We have made the boss watch all of his friends and loved ones die. Now we will loot their bodies. Attack for all. Total damage for all. Total damage for back row. Total damage for all. And total damage for the back row. And now we will keep clearing our spaces. Free loots. Damage for the back row again. Hot tip, when you get one of these treasure chests and it just shows you an icon for some reason, you can click on that icon or tap and you can read what it actually does. We get energy recovery rate of our mage champions by 20%, and we do indeed like that. Health for all teammates. Reduce enemy attack. Damage for mages and marksmen. You can see that I'm stacking damage on my DPS characters as much as I possibly can. Reducing defensive enemies. Make them die. We are going to grab a health increase for our front row. Damage reduction for our front row. Congratulations, you are a monster. You have murdered everyone in sight. We're going to reduce enemy health by 10%. And now we will attack a man with nothing left to live for, and we will take this fight a little more seriously as it is the boss fight, so we're going to aim at the succubus with our Tidestorm. When enemy champions receive control effects, they immediately lose a 10% of their current health. We do have a lot of control effects. However, I think that getting energy is better. This depends on whether or not the slow from female Elzadeth counts as a control effect. It could. It's definitely a debuff. It doesn't say when they receive a debuff, though. So I'm going to assume that that includes freeze, the stuns, fears, charms, banish, possibly pulls. But I don't think that the debuff of the slow is going to count. Therefore, I don't think it's going to be as useful as just having our energy all the time. Wow, we got all of our things right away. Isn't that cool? If they're really going to let that happen every battle, then that was a huge pickup. That was a strong pickup. Hey, damage for mages and marksmen. Let's go. I'm walking here. Now we shall finish our last stragglers on this floor. Total damage reduction of all teammates by 15%. Yes, thank you. I enjoy that. You can see that we've saved our heals until we needed them. However, I think at the end of the level, it's just healing my characters anyway. I can't confirm or deny that, but I definitely had damage on a guy at the end of that battle. I was doing that on purpose. And that said I didn't need a cure, so... Now this looks purple, but when I click on this, is it going to give me a blue? You liars! How dare you false advertise? Speaking of false advertising, the ads for this game have gotten a little misleading, and I'm not super comfortable with that. Okay, I will say that splash damage, I think, is incredible, and usually a very good pickup. But I can have my ultimate back within 5 seconds, and I get it at the beginning? Hello. Hello, darling. I think we're starting to get a build. Let's do violence. But before we do violence, one of these characters on the screen is not an enemy. He's a friend. Hello, friend. So we have a lot of mage damage and also marksman damage, but we also have a male Tidestorm, and with male Ignis and male Tidestorm and doing a whole bunch of ultimates, I think we're going to be having a good time. Now, back to your regularly scheduled violence. We no longer need energy recovery rate, that's for sure, so we are going to take defense for all. Why not? We're going to take some more front row health. We are healing percent health on one of our front row people, so that's one of the reasons why I am preferring to get that. Wow! Male Lionstone could really come in handy here. Actually, female Ugrel could also come in quite handy here. They all could. However, my front row is not necessarily for damage so much, it's more for staying alive, so we're gonna grab something that helps us stay alive. And after I just said we were doing our healing based on percent health, we are going to immediately stop doing that. This run is popping off. This is why you clear every node. It is a little tedious, it is a little not fun, but my word, am I strong right now. Damage for mages and marksmen, don't mind if I do. I think attack speed is good here. We take it. Increasing damage in our back row. Again, I think we just keep stacking that. Since we have all of these Lionstone shields, damage for the back row. Speaking of popping off, look at that guy go. I feel defensively strong right now, so we're going to reduce their health. Attack for all. I don't think that attack speed is as good as the damage increase here, just because of all of the ultimates that we are throwing out, so we're going to grab that. Ooh, give me the money is mine, give me the money. Well, I believe that's one of the items here, and we don't want to use those. I have heard that using items in this section will crash your game and make it bad, so we're not going to be doing that. Health in the front. Oh, it's time to make a friend. We're gonna make a friend. Ooh. I can't use any of those, really. Maybe the NAS I could use. I'll grab it, we'll see. Maybe he'll get put in there. It's also good to have backups, because if one of your characters dies, you may need to put another person in. And let's say that this fellow met his untimely death, then I could grab him and throw him in there. Due to the levels, I'm not sure that that's what I want to do, but this guy seems to have higher power that he's bringing in, so we're just gonna, I'm gonna try it out. I think we've had too many increases for just our back row. We do have a damaged person in the middle row, so we're gonna go ahead and... I mean, maybe that counts as back row. Maybe the middle position counts as back row, but they're not super clear about that, so maybe that counts as front row. It could literally be either. Some clarification would be nice. We're going to reduce their attack, because to heck with them. Alright, boss fight number 3. We definitely want that healer to be dead, so that's good, and we also, I think we want to keep our tank over on this side. Tank and her, that should be just fine. Ooh, you guys did a typo. Uh-oh, you made a typo. There's an 8 there. It's supposed to be an N. And also, that's awesome, and we're taking it. So we managed to take a little bit of damage there. And you can see now that it's going to show us who it will heal. And I'm going to go ahead and use it. And then we can look at the other one and see that it only healed a portion. It did not heal us to full. So I'm going to clear the map first, and then I'm going to try to click on the thing and see if it lets us use that. Total damage. Aha! It does let us use it. And now we're full health. Okay. So clearing the stage does not give you full health. You dare stand in my way. Total damage. I'm not going to take that other fight. I am still clicking around to get all of the buffs I can before I fight, even though I know that I'm going to absolutely destroy that person. It don't even matter though. I'm going to grab some damage reduction for the whole team. Reduce enemy health. Time for a killing spree! I think we've proven here just now that the only good Dungeon Descent tile person is a dead Dungeon Descent tile person. Now give me my loots! Wow, we can reduce all of their health by 10%, but we could get more of this, and then if we select another marksman down the road, that's gonna be nutty, especially if we get a female Trevane. I'm going for the marksman. Health for all. Damage for the back. Damage for all. Damage reduction in the front. We're going to grab defense for all. And we'll grab a quick full health before we make this guy meet his untimely demise. Do we want to kill the succubus or the other? I think we want to kill the succubus. I hate them, and I hope they all die a miserable death as soon as possible. Oh look, the violence is working. We're doing it. And a little for you, and a little for you, and you're dead. You tried. You tried. Ooh, what do we get? What do we get? What do we get? We do not need Potion of Rage. Banner of Courage could be fantastic, but we want to try Cursed Scepter and see what it do. Does that work on knockups? Because we got our NAS character now, and that could be mighty fine. And if you've been wondering what all of our gold doubloons are for, you are about to find out when we cross the threshold into the next area. Spoiler alert, they're used for what every coin is used for, which is the purchase of goods and services. Reduce enemy defense. We've done it. After a long adventure, we've reached our save point. I don't know why I did that. I don't know why I said it like that. We've got rewards, real rewards that carry on into the next event. Wedding rings are always, always good. What does this lady have for us? This is our broker where we can buy some... What is this? Oh, well that's good, but we already have one, so I don't think we need another one. Well, we may as well get what we can get because we are absolutely rich. And again, we don't need any potions because I believe using them breaks the game. Let's see what we got from our little goblin. Oh my god, look at your face! Do something about your face, mister! Hey, goblin boy, my eyes are up here! So, all of these things cost diamonds, and all of their diamond costs are quite high, so... I don't think that's going to be happening for me. If we take a look at the 600 gem costs for our Ignis Companion, we already have the Ignis Companion, so 5 of those will give us 100 intimacy, and we know that we can get a few hundred intimacy by spending the same 600 gems on the Companion value pack when it is available in stores. So I would recommend not ever doing any of that, ever. Just don't. They're not worth it. And being that we're at a save point, I believe that's going to be a perfect spot to end the video. If you did enjoy this video and you learned something or you were entertained in some way, then go ahead and subscribe, and you could even hit the notification bell if you don't want to miss the rest of this series. And I know you don't want to miss the rest of this series because we're going to beat the whole thing. I don't know that yet. That's not confirmed. I'm not contractually obligated to actually succeed at this, just so we're all on the same page. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one.